Jesus Christ, is he gone?
He's gone, finally.
Jiggy, 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 jiggy.
Aye! This is the greatest moment of his life.
The Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar show. The Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar show. The Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar show. The Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar, the Jiggy Jaguar show.
And you're watching freaking KJAG TV.
Thank you. Good night.
It is. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to not say goodbye because we've got to get out of here. I've got somebody standing behind the camera because I've overrun it. And now if I don't do that, I'm going to get in trouble. I know you come from Kansas, but there you go. This is Adrian Paul signing off.
Comes to the top pretty handedly for me, just the length and extension of neck. I love the body and the shape of this heifer, length of hip. She just gets out and glides. She's really soft at the surface. Just a really well-balanced, really complete heifer. Young man's heifer that comes in next, the heifer that might just be a little bit stouter made actually when you start here from behind, and the heifer that exceeds her. But a heifer just maybe just gives up a little bit of structural softness on the rear too when you put her in motion. I maybe just like to lengthen her up ever so slightly in that front 1/3 and soften her up at the surface. The young man's heifer that comes in rounds out the class, maybe just gives up a little eye appeal, doesn't have quite the pizzazz, maybe like to soften her up at the ground, give her a little more fluid movement when he asks her to go. But 3 really nice heifers, congratulations.
Look and the eye appeal there from the side profile, that's the one that goes to the ground with the most of what I would consider attractive skeleton, a female that's still on target in terms of her body shape for this stage of the game. Good looking up to her front 1/3, remains collected down her top line. That one's better days are ahead of her, but I think today she gives you an awfully good look there from the side profile, and especially when set into motion. The solid red heifer that comes here next, I think has some neat pieces. She's the highest hind, the longest neck. She has a long, comfortable stride out of her hip and hind leg. I think she has enough depth of body at this stage of the game. I'd like to power her up just in terms of her body shape. Right there in her heart and full rib. As you step right in behind the cattle, she wants to flatten just a bit more right out of her pin set down into her stifle. A female, and maybe it's just a shot narrower as you study her down to her base, but flexible from the side profile, enough depth of body, and a good look up to her front end with some time and feet. I think there's a lot of good in that heifer. The red and white painted up female that closes, no doubt the stoutest, the highest performing, the most dimensional right there through her midrib. A female, as you get back off her from an individual standpoint, I think balances up appropriately. I'd like to see her go to the ground with just a bit more foot size and a bit more flexibility off of both ends. She's just a shot coarser to the base of her shoulder, doesn't have that elite look from her shoulders forward, but certainly a powerful female. That'll be a fun one to breed on. Congratulations to all those exhibitors. These females, the one that wins this particular class, hit me hard as she comes in. That's the one that I tied to just in terms of her added look from her shoulders forward. For being a fresh, maybe a little later maturing female, that's one that I like in terms of just her body shape at this stage of the game. Her added depth and sweep and the way that she's built back into her rear rib and flank. She's the most attractive in terms of her lower skeleton, and then the way that her shoulder lays onto her body, more than enough dimension from behind. A great place to start this particular class. The heifer that comes directly behind her comes with a bit more performance, and I wouldn't argue if you tell me that she has just more mass when you get right in behind the cattle. Heifer that I think still has more than enough look and just balance from the side profile. Maybe doesn't take it quite as far as the female directly ahead of her in terms of the way her shoulder lays onto her body. She's not near as attractive in terms of her hind leg as the heifer that wins this particular class, but a nice one standing there in second. The white heifer that comes rolling out next, again one that I'm drawn to in terms of just her easy flesh and look right there to her midrib. A female that comes with an attractive, just eye-appealing look from her shoulders forward, sound and comfortable on the go. Of those first 3, she's just a shot frailer to the surface. I'd like to neaten her up just in terms of the shape to her shoulder as it lays onto her body and see just a bit more dimension from behind. As we keep moving down the lineup, We got a red, white-legged one that comes with some added mass and dimension from up above. Needs some added foot size and stoutness, a feature to balance up appropriately there from the side profile. Like to offset her balance parts in terms of her chest and how she fills back into her flank to the base of her rib cage. But a nice female standing there in fourth. The roan female that comes out next, easy fleshing, more than enough dimension right there through her midrib. Doesn't balance up quite as neat there from the side profile when you study her from her chest back into her flank, and then how she takes her neck out of the top side of her shoulder. Just a shot more jammed up than what I'd like to see. A pair of females that close out this class a bit more alike in their type and kind, and they are different. Stout, no doubt, when you get right in on the top side of the cattle relative to their size and frame. They have as much dimension from up above as any of them. I think they both need to go with just more flexibility off of both ends, and I'd like to see them just a bit more ladylike in terms of their appearance. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Results of class number 3, early spring heifer class winner. And returning to show for the early spring heifer calf division champion, entry number 594, RLRL Miss Redemption 106J.
She sets down with just more flexibility and a set of feet and legs that I'm a shot more comfortable with. An easy keeping kind of a female as you study her through her midrib. Still bounces up appropriately there on the stand. I think as you send her into motion, one that wants to drop her head just a touch more and drop her pins. Again, as you get her on the go. But all in all, I think a moderate, easy keeping kind of a female that's just got more flexibility built into her lower joints. An interesting breeding piece standing here in second. Eye tie and long neck, stout pin. Big-footed, no doubt, with all those things working in her favor. I'd like to see that one just come with a shot more body relative to her added frame, and then when set into motion, just go with a bit more flexibility off of both ends. Nice class there. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Comes to the top pretty handedly for me, just the length and extension of neck. I love the body and the shape of this heifer, length of hip. She just gets out and glides. She's really soft at the surface. Just a really well-balanced, really complete heifer. Young man's heifer that comes in next, the heifer that might just be a little bit stouter made actually when you study her from behind, and the heifer that exceeds her. But a heifer just maybe just gives up a little bit of structural softness on the rear too when you put her in motion. I maybe just like to lengthen her up ever so slightly in that front 1/3 and soften her up at the surface. The young man's heifer that comes in rounds out the class, maybe just gives up a little eye appeal, doesn't have quite the pizzazz, maybe like to soften her up at the ground, give her a little more fluid movement when you ask her to go. But 3 really nice heifers, congratulations.